Welcome back to the Trucking Risk and Insurance Podcast. Today we are joined by a true titan of the industry with over 40 years of experience. He is the president of KRTS and TransRep and a foundational leader of the Professional Truck Training Alliance of Canada, the one and only Mr. Kim Richardson. In this episode, we are diving deep into why NATMI certification is the gold standard for safety directors and how the push for Red Seal trade status is set to revolutionize the way we legitimize the professional truck driver. If you care about the future of training, compliance, and professional standards in North America, you can't afford to miss this great conversation. Let's get right into it.
Welcome to the Trucking Risk and Insurance Podcast.
Hey, Kim, welcome to the show. Can you take a second and introduce yourself to our viewers, please?
Yeah, sure can, Chris. I'm Kim Richardson. I'm president of KRTS and also founder and president of TransRep. Heavily involved with the industry for 4 decades, probably as long as you, Chris. And very interested in having a conversation today about some of the things that you're working on and obviously you're involved in, and also very involved with PTAC, the Professional Truck Training Alliance of Canada. So thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. I mean, our main focus of conversation today, I'm hopefully we'll get into PTAC a little bit, but we're talking about NATMI, North American Transportation Management Institute. How long have you been involved with NATMI, Kim?
Oh, geez, decades, Chris. I had the same question for you because I know it's been a long time, but we're huge supporters of NATMI, and for those of you who don't know, they're internationally recognized in university accreditation training and professional certification for the truck and bus industry. So probably, in my humble opinion, the highest standard available for our industry for certification. How about you? How long have you been involved?
I'd have to look it up. I think 2005.
Yeah, I think we joined around the same time and got involved with NATMI, and they're managed now by the Truckload Carrier Association, strongly supported by them, and the other thing that really impresses me is that they're accredited by the University of Denver and Supply Chain Institute. So they have a body that accredits them and their courses North American wide, actually global wide. They got their board meeting coming up at the Truckload Carrier Association annual conference. So I'm sure some of that information will be covered there.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that I really like about NATMI is that it is university backed. When you get your certificate, not and this is what confuses some of the participants. They get a certificate for attending the 2-day class and passing the exam. They get a certificate of completion, but it's not the actual certificate from the university. That comes after you submit your exhibit through the online process, and it gets accepted. And there's a few other hoops there. But, and Kim, this is true. I got a phone call just yesterday again from a lawyer asking if I could possibly be an expert witness. And the second question they asked me is, what's your background? What's your expertise? How can we believe that you're an expert in the industry? And the NATMI certification for CDS, Certified Director of Safety, they accept that.
Absolutely, and to parlay on that a little bit, we've done the same thing. We've actually been expert witnesses in court, and again, one of the first questions they ask is what makes you an expert, and having that designation, being involved with NATMI, along with a lot of the other things we do, is really important. And NATMI is just a great relationship with industry, and I think people who take the course have a true understanding and appreciation for what they do.
Yeah. And now, because our audience for this podcast is almost 50-50 between Americans and Canadians, but let's address the Canadians for just a second. Why should they take a NATMI course?
So when you take a look at the industry as a whole, Chris, a lot of our movement is across the border into the United States. A lot of the carriers, they move into the U.S. and they have to follow the U.S. regulations, and that's important. So it gives them a better understanding and helps legitimize what they're doing from a safety and compliance profession as well, and helps legitimize the carriers that they work for.
Well, that, and it gives them, I mean, a lot of what the US demands that we do are best business practices for any Canadian fleet, whether you cross border or not. For example, the US demands that you do reference checks. Well, bloody hell, that's a damn good idea.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Chris, for sure.
And NATME, I was involved in a small way in producing the second version of the CDS, the Canadianized version, or how do we say it? I haven't delivered that course yet. That's coming up later this year. But how do we say the CDS that's Canada only?
So they call it the CDSC.
CDSC.
I think that's the acronym. Yeah. So I mean, there seemed to be a big desire from some Canadian carriers who do operate in Canada only to have an accreditation for Canadians with Canadian jargon, some Canadian laws and regulations. So that's yet to be determined how well that's going to go. I think the jury's still out on that, and we'll see.
Well, it's kind of neat that some people felt that there was a need to have a Canadian only CDS program. So,
Yeah, and I think when you take a look at some of the private fleets, they never do leave Canada. And sometimes they never do leave their province. But I think it answers a need and a request from industry safety professionals, and I think NATMI's done a really good job at that, listening not only to the board of directors and some of the people who have involvement, but also meeting annually with the Canadian group and making sure that they're on the same page.
yeah. And one of the other things I would like to get out there so that people know is that a company, specifically a company, you don't have to wait for KRTS, as an example, to hold the CDS program in your area. You can actually have it delivered on site by a certified NATMI instructor. As I just did one down in the Windsor area on behalf of KRTS.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a second, Chris? I really haven't had a chance to talk with our team about that. How did it go?
Oh, it was excellent. The host company had a great boardroom. We had 9 participants. It was the host company plus one other company that does a lot of work with the host. So between them, they had 9 participants, which was just a phenomenal turnout. And they were great hosts. Um, really good food. There's a restaurant. This was in Leamington. They got somebody to cater the second day that was just unbelievably good. But you know, and it was really good. I'll tell you something funny. The most nervous person who had to take the exam at the end, he is new to Canada, and he was really fearful in taking the exam. He told one of the other participants during the break right before the exam, he's going to fail. He takes the exam, and doesn't he score one of the highest marks in the class?
That's great news, Chris. And you're a pretty humble guy, but I think a lot has to do with the instructor and the delivery and the way that you collaborate with the participants. And I'm so glad you brought that up about being able to deliver it right on site two organizations, two carriers. It's really important because, in an area, and we'll use the Windsor area as an example, they can reach out to some of their partners and industry folks, and they can join together. And at the end of the day, good for them. Good for them being so forward thinking.
Yeah, no, and it was great. And as I say, nine's a fantastic number. That was the certified driver trainer program, the 2-day course. And it was great. And the comments that I was getting after the course was ended was really fulfilling to me because they really enjoyed it and felt it was a great way to spend 2 days.
That's great to hear. Chris, you've been working as a partner with KRTS for a long time, and some of our other partners, like the Private Motor Truck Council of Canada. And then we have facility partners who host the program. From your perspective, how important are those relationships and what we've developed with industry collectively?
Well, I think we are only as strong as our partners. I really believe that. Nobody can deliver all of the programs, all of the training, whatever it is that your job is. Whether you could be a trucking company, but you're only as good as the people that you partner with, because no matter what you do, you need partners in this world. Most of us get married or have spouses. Like, you need partners to be successful, is what I'm trying to say all the time. And you've got to choose your partners carefully, because it is their reputation as well as your own that are on the line all the time. So you really have to do it and deliver it.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate that not only do we have great instructional staff like yourself, Chris, but great partners who understand the value of higher education and making sure that people have an opportunity to grow because they're professionals. They want to grow. They want that designation. I've over the years I've had people send me not only their certificates, but once they get their business cards and then it has that designation behind their name, that's exciting stuff. And we've had a number of carriers over the years who just continuously every year keep putting people through the program. So that's
Yeah,
good
and
stuff. And the insurance industry buys in as well.
well, it does a couple of things. When you can put, in my case, I've got certified director of safety on my business card. When you can put any designation on your business card, one, I'm very proud of it. It's not easy to get, but those of us who have it, I think it's deserved, and it distinguishes us a little bit. And because it stays with us, it moves from employer to employer, and really makes your resume look a lot stronger when you have a designation of any sort, but when you have a designation on your resume as well.
Yeah, and you raise an interesting point. As part of our career path here at KRTS, when we sit down and have a conversation with potential people who are going to come to work for us as instructors, and we outline what the career path looks like, which includes the certified driver trainer from NATMI. That program, we need that completed within the first year. We host that program, we pay for that program, and not only does it enhance their ability, but it keeps people on the same page. You'll see instructors who have had the NATMI, a certified driver trainer, work the same way with other folks. So, and it also affects their pay rate.
Yeah.
The more education they have, the more money and the more diversified they can be, the better.
Well, and the one thing that the CDT, the Certified Driver Trainer Program, explains to the participants is a lot of how adults learn and how you as an adult can transfer your experience and knowledge to another adult in a way that it's readily accepted and understood. I think that's the key to the program.
Yeah, and I think there's harmonization within all of their courses when you take a look at, the main courses we offer: the certified driver trainer, the certified director of safety, and now the certified accident investigation course. I think these are all important things to remember when instructors are getting their certification. Is not only is it great for them, but as you mentioned earlier, it is transferable.
Yeah. No, and as I said at the beginning there, just yesterday, a lawyer called me up and said, "What makes you an expert?" Basically. And I have to justify that. And part of the justification is my certification that I have gotten from a university. You know.
Absolutely.
Now, anything else about NATMI, or do you want to change over to the adventure of PTAC?
Yeah, just one final thing, Chris. I mean, you've been doing this for a long, long time, and I was thinking about this before we got together this morning. But what's one of your favorite and greatest memories in teaching NATMI? Where was it? Who was it with? Why did it make it so special? I'm interested to know that.
I think just because it just happened this past week, I did the Leamington one. That fella who I said was a new Canadian and struggles a little bit with English yet. He was so happy that I got a good mark and that he passed, that he said, "My 9-year-old son won't believe it." Like they studied together. The 9-year-old was helping his dad with English as he studied that night and everything. And he said, "My son's going to be so proud of me." It was, it was heartwarming to hear him speak. You could tell that they had a great relationship in the first place, but he was really proud that he was able to go home and tell his son, "I passed."
That's a great story. That's a great story. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, well, it was, as I say, it was his story. He was the one that was so excited when, these things are done on the computer nowadays, the exam. And when you hit submit, the beauty of it is you get instant feedback. And at first he didn't read the screen. He just saw the confetti on the screen. And "What does the confetti mean?" He didn't understand that it was kind of, hey, it's an explosion of greatness. And then when he saw "you passed" on the screen, I forget the exact wording, he was visibly excited and relieved.
Yeah, that's great stuff. That's good to hear. And you see an elevation as well with these instructors. Once they go through the program and once they've submitted, the documents they need to submit, and they're officially certified, you just see an elevation in them as people, them as quality instructors. We've seen that over the
Yeah.
years for sure.
Well, I think it's a huge pat on the back to that individual to say, "Hey, you are now recognized." Whether it's the CDS or the CDT, they are recognized by their peers as having something special.
Yeah, and from a business perspective, competition is fierce, and we embrace competition here at KRTS and TransRep. But when we're talking to our customers, one of the first things that we boast about in reference to the services that we supply is the accreditation and certification, not only of our company but of our instructors,
Right.
and that's important to them. It really is, and the customers appreciate that.
Well, and I've told you this in the past, but I think it's neat that you've tied compensation to getting your CDT. It encourages your instructors and it rewards your instructors.
Yeah, and I've really seen it over the years. I mean, I don't do much of the hiring anymore. That's left up to Matt and the team. But I know for a fact that, people they come to KRTS for a number of reasons, but that NATMI accreditation and certification is one of them. And the other one is probably the longevity bonus that they receive just before Christmas, which our instructors really appreciate for the amount of time they've been with us. So our turnover is low. And there's no secret sauce. Just treat them right, give them the tools to do the job, and then, get the heck out of their way and be there to help them when needed.
Yeah. Now let's do a 2-minute commercial for KRTS. You are a truck driving school where somebody without a license can come and get their tractor trailer license. But what other services do you offer that we may not know about?
Yeah, so we also do certification for heavy equipment, dozers, backhoes, excavators.
Right.
We're certified by Ministry of Training colleges and universities to do that. We have forklift certification. We also do a ton of corporate training. Probably touching on over 600 corporate clients now globally. We've got and had customers in Australia and through the United States, and we offer our services to them to help alleviate some of the problems that they may have in reference to having full-time people on all the time. So the services that we offer are very complementary to what they need and are tailor-made in a lot of cases for the company.
Yeah. And you also have in a separate room, you have what I call the toy, but you can, talk about the simulator just a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Chris. we we got involved with Vrive simulation a number of years ago, and we think it's been a deal breaker for us. What it offers not only our entry level students but existing students is second to none when it comes to different types of programs and courses and applications you can put them on. Probably our most popular program is the winter driving course. But again, we can tailor make the courses for the particular company, or even better, for the individual who may have an incident and then needs to be refreshed on that incident. We can capture the same type of incident that they've had. And all of the documentation as information is supplied in the cloud. And not only has the industry embraced it, but the insurance industry has embraced it as well. And it's just an amazing tool to have to offer our clients.
Now that kind of leads us, I think that's a great segue into Red Seal because you just said the insurance industry is embracing additional training. How the insurance industry, I think they are excited about the possibility of the Red Seal program. Can you talk about that for just a minute?
Yeah, sure. So where Red Seal came to light was a few years back when the Professional Truck Training Alliance of Canada was formed, and it was established by a group of national training facilities who wanted to make a difference in the industry and seen a real need. And their top priority out of all of their key objectives was to see Red Seal come to fruition for the commercial driver. So that's been something that's been very important to them. And as the committee formed into a registered group with the federal government, it's expanded with the carriers and with the insurance providers. And since the introduction of Red Seal, there's been a Red Seal insurance committee that's been formed, and they've really been driving the bus pretty much for Red Seal.
And for those who don't know, can you explain a little bit what Red Seal is?
Yeah, so Red Seal is a nationally endorsed process. When you take a look at plumbers, electricians, I think there's about 50 Red Seal trades in Canada. At the end of the day, all of those Red Seal apprentices, or apprenticeships, I should say, they all started the same way with a group of like-minded professionals who said, "Listen, let's legitimize this profession, and let's see if we can make this a national thing." And I'm sure they all felt the same way that we as an industry feel. It's going to be a lot of heavy lifting. It's going to take some time. And as one of my industry friends said, it's going to be like boiling the ocean. And I think that the electricians and plumbers maybe thought the same thing when they got rolling. But when I take a look at where it was and where it is today and where it's heading, very, very impressive. It seems like Alberta is going to lead the way. You have to have 5 provinces involved. Looks like Alberta is going to be the lead province, and they've actually said that they're targeting 2028 to see Red Seal in Alberta
And
and
you
Canada.
need, sorry, how many provinces on board?
You need 5. So Alberta and 4 others, and we've got some strong interest from Saskatchewan and from Manitoba as well. And a lot of strong interest from organizations, associations. I think the most important thing to all this is the insurance industry.
Yeah.
That them embracing it, and that's going to help a lot. And the other folks who are embracing it is the existing drivers. They
Yeah.
really are saying, "Hey, we want this profession legitimized."
And, I've been a truck driver I was a truck driver for many years, and I really think it should be legitimized. What the heck is the skills of a truck driver? Are they not, kind of equivalent to carpenters and mechanics and plumbers and electricians? Like, why shouldn't we be recognized in the same way? Our profession, certainly, um, when we make a mistake, we frequently cost people lives. And I think we should be legitimized and a professional trade.
Yeah, I mean, I've been comparing it recently to pilots. You know, first of all, what other career can you have that you share your job with the general public every
Yeah.
day in and day out? In most cases, somewhere between 50 and 60 hours a week. And these trucks today, they are like the inside of an aircraft, inside what a pilot operates. And I just give so much credit to all the hardworking professionals out there, and those companies who support them and making sure that they're looked after. And it's interesting to see their support for sure.
Yeah, I think it's something, unfortunately, it takes years to move this. Um, but I'm extremely hopeful that it is going to be achieved because, as you say, there are some heavy hitters now that are backing it finally.
Yeah, and when you take a look at all the major insurance providers, without mentioning any names, in the commercial industry, they're all backing it. And I think what's equally as important is the national instructor certification that needs to happen. When you take a look at what NATMI does, that's a huge support mechanism, as well as the national accreditation course that is being developed for Canadian instructors, for national instructors. So everybody's on the same plate.
That's I'm hopeful. Hopefully, Kim, it'll be something that will be achieved while you and I are still active in the industry as we age. But what else, as we wrap this interview up, Kim, what else do we need to know from Kim Richardson?
I think one of the big things, Chris, is just truly how grateful I've been in the industry to be able to surround myself and be involved with so many great human beings, much like yourself. I truly respect those friendships and those partnerships, and just aligning with great people and great organizations. And I said to my wife this morning, I said, for some reason, and I feel this often, I just feel very grateful and fortunate to be in the industry that I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other for somewhere close to 30 years now, and it's the same. I'm very grateful that this industry has given not just me, but more importantly, my kids, great opportunities. Not within the industry, but the industry paid for those opportunities.
Yeah, and we're fortunate to have our young adults, our kids involved with our businesses. Of course, Lisa's involved, and then both Matt and Jamie are involved with our businesses. Matt with KRTS and Jamie with TransRep, and then we have an amazing team of professionals who believe in what we believe in. We want to be the best. We want to offer white glove service to our customers, and we want to be offering state of the art programs and courses that the industry is investing in.
Yeah, and that's a great place, I think, to wrap it up. Kim of KRTS and TransRep, thanks for coming on to the Trucking Risk and Insurance Podcast.